So I was about 25 years old when I discovered the power of linen. I was living in Southern California, Carlsbad to be exact, and I had been invited to a wedding. Now, I probably could have worn my dress blues, but I didn't want to upstage the bride. But seriously, I had a pretty good suit. I was just missing my dress shirt. So I went to the mall and ended up finding this beautiful white shirt that was made from an interesting fabric. I remember this particular shirt for a few reasons. First up, the fabric. Unlike all my other previous dress shirts, I didn't sweat like a pig in this thing in the Southern California heat. That material was breathable. In fact, when you look closely at the fabric, it had just a touch of transparency to it. That being said, I wasn't revealing anything, and yes, it took a little bit more ironing, but man, this thing looked good. That linen shirt would go on to serve me for years. It seemed like the more I washed it, the more comfortable and attractive it became. Next up, let's talk about linen's cooling properties. Now, an interesting fact about linen fibers is that they are hollow. This allows air and moisture to more easily move through the fabric. In addition, the shape of the fiber encourages heat conductivity. Basically, this allows the dissipation of the heat that builds up between the skin and the fabric, making you feel cooler. And let's not forget about the characteristics of linen when it gets wet. So first up, linen has the unique ability to absorb 20% of its weight in moisture without you feeling it. Basically, a linen shirt can soak up sweat and not make you feel wet. On top of that, the fiber has the ability to release the moisture into the air. And this natural evaporation process, it's been used by men and women for over 5,000 years. Yeah, you go back to the ancient Egyptians, they were wearing linen clothing because they understood it's one of the most versatile fabrics out there. So why then do so many men have so little linen in their wardrobes, and how can you add linen to yours? Gentlemen, that's the subject of today's video. So we're going to start this video off with practical clothing items that every man should consider having in his wardrobe. So the first clothing piece, the one that I think if you're just getting started with linen, you should add to your wardrobe, is going to be the classic linen button down. Now, when you're out there choosing a color, you want to go with something that's going to work with everything in your wardrobe, something you're going to get miles out of, something you're probably already wearing, most likely a color that you already have, but not in linen. Gents, I'm going to recommend the white linen button down shirt. You're going to see this with button down collars. You're going to see it with spread collars, with pockets, without pockets. I like something simple. I like something clean, or wear it with a light colored suit, a dark colored suit. It is going to work pretty much in any situation. The key here is you're going to get your feet wet. You're going to start to see what linen is all about. Now, if you've already got a white linen or that seems too boring, check out light blue. Again, I'm all about you getting miles out of your clothing. And for a lot of you guys, this light blue is going to work with all of your suit jackets. It's going to work with a leather jacket. This is a color you can dress up, you can dress down, and it's going to work with anything, including your jeans. Now, if you were to take those two shirts and have a baby, you would get this one. You've got a white with blue stripes. Now, what I love about this shirt here is it's got an old money type of feel. This is a classic pattern that we see in button downs. And although it's more casual than a solid white, it definitely has a bit more character. Because both these colors are so interchangeable, this shirt is going to work with almost anything. Now, linen shirts by their very nature are casual. And if you go with this navy, yes, it is a casual shirt. But what I love about this color, as many of you guys know, is I've got kids, so I'm not so worried about stains. And this works with most items in my wardrobe. Now, gents, all the linen clothing you're seeing in today's video is brought to you by my sponsor, John Hendrick. Now, gents, I've worked with John Hendrick for years, and when you go over to their website, what you're going to find is classic style done right at an affordable price. Seriously, check out these polos. Right here, I'm wearing the dark green, which I think looks great with my complexion. But of course, I also had them send me a navy, one of my go-to colors. And this light linen is going to be so easy to dress up, to dress down, to work with a pair of shorts. And yes, gents, when you go over to their website, you're going to see they've got everything you need to look great this summer in linen. And so looking at their shorts, notice the styling, the classic fit in the legs, and the classic colors: sand, brown, dark green. And gents, linen doesn't have to be ultra casual. Let's check out these suits. Now, I had them send me the beige linen suit, and this is the fit right out the box. And I have to say that the build, the overall feel of this clothing is top notch. Check out this dark green linen suit. Now, you can buy this as just a suit jacket. You can buy it as just a pair of trousers. You can buy them together and wear this thing like I am right here as a full-on suit. Last but not least, let's talk about the linen overshirt. So John Hendrick has quite a few of these, and what I love about this is that you can wear this over a t-shirt with a pair of shorts. It's basically the summer equivalent of a flannel shirt. This is something that can keep you warm when you're out on the water, or it can add a bit of style when you've got that unexpected stop into that restaurant. You're just wearing a shirt and shorts. Now, of course, dressing with style during the spring and summer doesn't stop with linen, and that's why I love how John Hendrick has such a wide selection, not just of linen, but of cotton clothing, wool clothing. Guys, if you are looking to build your classic wardrobe. John Henrik is where you need to go. Gents, I can tell you when it comes to quality, when it comes to style, when it comes to price, this right here is the perfect combination. Click the link in the description, and with code RMRS2024 at checkout, enjoy a 20% discount on your total order. And gents, no, this deal is not going to be around forever, so use it or lose it. Go over there, check out John Henrik, an awesome company, proud to work with them. All right, gents, so at this point, let's get into some tips and tricks for wearing linen. Number one, gents, embrace the wrinkles. I swear, so many guys are afraid to wear linen, or they avoid it because they think that they always have to be ironing. Oh, if I get some wrinkles, for some reason, that's an issue. And I know when we talk about style mistakes, we say don't wear a wrinkled shirt. But here's the thing, those rules, they're more like guidelines, and there are exceptions. Linen being one of them. You see, linen's a more casual fabric. It was actually a very common underwear worn throughout the Middle Ages because of its properties. It was durable. One interesting thing about linen is whenever it gets wet, it actually gets tougher. It gets stronger. So it was a great material to wear close to the body because you could get it dirty. It could be cleaned easily. And you say, you know what? Anytime I wear linen, it is going to be a little bit more casual. That does a better job of retaining its shape and resisting wrinkles. Gents, when you take that approach, it becomes very easy to fit it into your wardrobe. The next style detail about linen, it should be worn a little bit looser. So you don't want to wear a close-fitted linen. It doesn't have the elasticity which we see in some of the other materials. It does have some, but linen stylistically has always been made in a way to have a little bit more airflow around the body. You're going to find that most linen shirts, most linen suits, you don't want to wear those super close. Again, we're not talking baggy, just a little bit looser than maybe your worsted wool suit or cotton dress shirt. Next up, we've got color coordination. My opinion is that most men are served best with linen with earthy, natural, pastel colors. When I think of linen, I think of a light, airy feel, and these colors naturally fit with that. That being said, brighter, deeper colors I do feel can work, especially if you've got a dark complexion, if these are colors you can normally pull off in your wardrobe, and I really do think that they can pop, but they're not going to be for everybody. Next up, let's talk about some of the different weights and weaves. And what I'm saying here is that basically linen can come in heavier duty fabrics. These are going to be much more resistant to wind, are going to keep you warm, and can even be worn in cooler weather. Most people think linen is simply a summer fabric. That's not the case. You will find heavier linens out there that are suitable for cooler weather wear and are used in items like heavier weight trousers and jackets. In fact, if you look, you're even going to find linen sweaters out there. Now, does it have the insulating properties of wool? No, but it's a lot less expensive and much more durable, especially when it gets wet. Again, linen when it gets wet gets stronger versus wool when it gets wet, it gets weaker. Now, I mentioned it earlier, but I feel it deserves reiteration, and that is linen, if taken care of and washed properly, can last a really long time, and it can improve over time, especially if you like your clothing soft. For a lot of people, linen, when it first starts off, it's a bit rough, but after a few washes, and by the way, when you wash linen, you don't want to expose it to heat in the dryer. You can dry it on low, but I recommend for most people, they just let their linen naturally dry. You're going to wash it in warm water or cool water. But yeah, after a few dozen washes, you'll notice that linen shirt starts to become really soft, and it still does a great job of maintaining its shape, and when ironed can give a really sharp look. Now, if you've ever used an iron, you've probably noticed that the highest setting is linen. And before you start ironing that linen shirt, you want to make sure that it's 100% linen. Occasionally, you will see shirts out there that use a blend, and in that case, you're going to want to turn the heat down. But yeah, if it's 100% linen, before wearing it, most likely you're going to want to iron it. Now, does that mean that you've got to be a slave to the iron, that it's going to take hours? No. The trick here is to iron the shirt whenever it's moist. So I like to iron my shirts right out of the washing machine. I find that that one hack changes everything and really makes my linen shirts so much easier to take care of. Again, what you want to avoid is throwing them in the dryer with all your other cotton clothing, leaving it on there in high, because you will find that linen can sometimes shrink. Now, getting back to styling, let's talk about linen's texture. This is one of the more unique properties, and the first thing I noticed whenever I bought my first linen shirt is this doesn't look like cotton. I don't know about you guys, but I absolutely love the look of linen, especially again in warmer weather. And even if you're not in love with the texture, having a variety of texture in your wardrobe is a plus, because it makes it so much fun to mix and match it with other items. So yes, you can wear a linen shirt with a wool suit, with a silk necktie, and a cotton pocket square. Or you can wear a linen jacket with a linen shirt, with a cotton necktie and a silk pocket square, a linen polo with cotton shorts or linen shorts. Gents, as you can imagine, I can go on here, but what linen does is it gives you a new texture, a new material to mix and match in your wardrobe and have fun. All right, gents, so what video to watch next? Boom, I got you covered with this video right here. Oh yeah, click here, check it out. Solid video. Oh yeah, boom, click it. Go there, come on. Guys, come on. I'm getting tired holding this thing up. Come on, click it.